to say otherwise.
Jan Logie.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to speak to this part 2 of the paid parental leave, employment protection, 6 months paid leave and work contact hours amendment bill brought forward by Sue Moroney. And I'm going to, others have spoken, I think, quite coherently about and demonstrated quite clearly the meanness of this government in refusing to support this. So actually I'm going to try and dwell on this contribution, the benefits of 6 months of the 26 weeks as opposed to the 22.
Well
and
done,
I'm
Jack.
hoping the Chair is going to appreciate that effort. So there are very significant reasons for the 6 months. The first one, which was already mentioned by the sponsor of the bill, is that the World Health Organization recommend exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months of a baby's life. And that anyone who listened to the submissions, anyone who has been in a family, who has had a baby, who has tried to juggle work and the needs of their baby and breastfeeding will know that that is an exceptionally difficult thing to do. And we certainly heard from people presenting to the committee about how they were unable to manage work and breastfeeding and their sanity. And so that they left their jobs because they couldn't manage those things and they had to put their child first, which was to continue breastfeeding. And that had a very significant financial cost to that family, and it had career consequences for those women. And it was a demonstration of that time where they were trying to juggle those things. The stress on them and their baby was unacceptable. That is what ultimately this bill is about, is removing that stress and ensuring that those babies and those families are supported by our employment laws to be able to work and maintain attachment to the workplace and have a family. You know, that's how most people live. And as a country, we have responsibility collectively to our children. And our employment law is one way we can demonstrate that. Another reason for the 6 months, the 26 weeks, is that actually employers told us that it would help them actually manage workflows and leave, that it's much easier to find somebody to fill in for 6 months. When it's a shorter period, actually they typically kind of fill in and have other people do and cover that person's job, and it's actually much more difficult to manage. So that also the other benefit of the 26 weeks is when they employ somebody on a contract to fill in for that 6 months, somebody else is getting access to the job market who wasn't in it earlier. So this actually is, there are so many benefits that kick in at 6 months, and they don't kick in earlier. And the Green Party's policy is for 13 months. And, you know, I don't think that's unreasonable when I consider that, you know, booming economies like the Czech Republic and Estonia somehow managed to offer 3 years of paid parental leave. Yeah, like I do, it does just kind of grate a little bit to hear from this government that they think 26 weeks is just too much of a stretch and out of our affordability range. I personally think, you know, I'm more aspirational for New Zealand. I think, you know, like actually, I think we can do 6 months. I think the will of the people is that, and our economy, you know, the resources that we may have as a country, I think we can cover it. And when we hear the arguments about, you know, well, the in-work tax credit, that should be more of a priority, like I absolutely believe we should extend the in-work tax credit to people. I don't think it should be either or. I think it should be both. And that we will be better off as a country and our children and babies will be better off if we do both. But strangely, This government's voted against both of those things repeatedly. So while they're telling us there's an argument against this is because of the in-work tax credit, strangely, they have a record of not supporting that either.
Mr Chair.
Sarah Dowie.
Mr Chair,